Ha 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 ha.
My name is Taylor Grimes. I'm 36 years old. I live in Patterson, Texas, and I'm the Sergeant Detective for the Patterson Police Department. Now, I am currently single, but I am the Sergeant Detective and I'm very focused on my work. When I was in the 8th grade and when I thought, you know what, I need to be a Sergeant Detective for PPD because someone stole my chimpanzee Millie. Now, I interrogated everyone, and I lost all of my friends, but you know what? It's not the friends that matter. It's the truth. And so when it came time to enroll for college, I decided to enroll at the Landry County Community College. Go LCCC. And now, when I enrolled, I did not assume that it would take so long to become a detective, but it was a lot of hard work. I failed the first 2 times around, but on the 3rd time I was able to pick up on some new tricks that them new one-timers don't know about. I was able to graduate 47th in my class in 98. Golly, that's like 50% of my class. That's pretty darn good. So, I became a detective for the PPD. Now, I started off as a patrol officer, but this year I moved up the ranks to Sergeant Detective. My first couple go-arounds were not successful, but now, after the higher-up elites and nobles of this classification of PPD have helped me, I've been able to become a pretty darn good Sergeant Detective, and I've had some pretty darn good cases in my pocket now. In this case I'm working for right now, I feel will go the same as these recent ones. I was awakened at approximately 4:30 in the morning on the day of the crime, and I was able to respond to the scene of the crime around 4:52. I was debriefed by 2 PPD officers that arrived on the scene earlier and later interrogated the guard which was assaulted, where he testified and said that there were 3 thieves, one of which was armed, and which caused him to fall unconscious. Now, I later, with the tracking device that the truck company was able to use on the GPS, we were able to locate an abandoned warehouse in Webster County, which is kind of a shady area, but as a sergeant detective, we have to go into even the darkest of places to get our info. So we creeped into this area with the building and had some low to intermediate light. We saw 2 figures in there. We were able to surround the building and quickly come in and catch the 2 men, which happened to be Brewster and Bandera. We were able to separate the 2 men and interrogate them, both which said that there was a 3rd member, which would confirm the film that the truck depot had, what the guard said, and what they say. That is 3 people. That is enough to say that I can probably assume there are going to be 3 people in this robbery, which we were able, by these 2 men, also to locate the house of Ironian Willa Barger. We were able to, and the next morning at 9:30 a.m., arrive at Willa Barger's house, where we were able to arrest him on an account of armed robbery. We were able to look at his phone log and see that he had called a CI agent of Calhan, which, when we were arresting Willa Barger, he did say something about working for the CI. And it is no surprise that the FIB wouldn't warn us of an undercover agent working, because they never tell the PPD, which is very against policy. But back to the scene of the crime, we did find 3 stolen knee pads at Willa Barger's car, but they were not unsealed, so we were able to return them. Now, when I was investigating the stolen truck, I assumed it had already been printed, which my fingerprints got all over it. Those slackers of fingerprint dusters did not dust it. Thus, only Sergeant Detective Grimes' fingerprints showed up. Now, I did not steal that truck, and we all know that. And that's the same with the floorboard, which we found later, when they told me to investigate it, but it hadn't been fingerprinted yet. Those darn slackers don't know how to do their jobs, but that's besides the point. We have 2 men in custody, which both made bail, Brewster and Bandera. Now, Walla Barger is being charged for armed robbery and for this case of stealing the meat pads. Now, the truck depot supplied us with a video of the crime at 4:01 in the morning, but it was overwritten by Sergeant Brooks Hale, that overwritten the video with a going away party for another police officer and his daughter's birthday. So we cannot provide the video, but I can testify after seeing the video there were 3 thieves.